So you're thinking of moving to Flagstaff, Arizona? Well, it's a great place to live. My name is Tammy, and on my channel, I will show you around all the ins and outs of Flagstaff. I'll show you lots of great homes and neighborhoods, but today we're going to do something a little bit special. I'm going to tell you 7 great things to do in Flagstaff around the holidays. We have lots of people that come up from the south, like from Phoenix or Tucson or surrounding areas, and they want to have a white Christmas. They want to experience what it's like to hold the snow, feel the snow, let their kids pick it up and make a snowball. And so the first thing I would like to start off with is a lot of our tourists will just pull off the side of the freeway and get their kids out and let them play in the snow to take a photo. And it's very dangerous and people have gotten hurt. So please go to an exit safely and find a little spot where you can play in the snow safely. So we're going to start off in November. About the second weekend in November, our hotel in town, Little America, they have this big lighting display where they turn on all their Christmas lights, and they have hot chocolate. A lot of people take their kids there, their grandkids, or just go to be a part of the community. And that's always a lot of fun. It kind of starts off the spirit of Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, on about November 11th at Little America. They also have a great restaurant there, and a lot of people that are coming from out of town will start asking, hey, where can we get a nice dinner where a whole family can be together? And Little America is a great place for that. Whether it's Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, it's a great place to go. If you don't like to cook or you don't want to cook, sometimes somebody might be in the hospital and they're just in town visiting, or it could be that you wanted a white Christmas in Flagstaff, but you didn't want to bring a giant turkey cooker, which I totally understand. So check out Little America if you're looking for that classic all-American turkey dinner on a holiday with your family. Another great thing that Little America does is called the North Pole Experience. And this starts after Thanksgiving. You do have to book it online, and the whole family can board a bus, and the bus magically takes you to the North Pole. When you get to the North Pole, you get to go into Santa's workshop and help make toys with the elves, and it's a very interactive, hands-on experience. I've heard great things about it, so definitely check that out. And that starts right after Thanksgiving. Our number 2 option is the first Saturday in December. It's called our Holiday Light Parade, and it's right downtown, and the whole community gets involved, and everybody who's in the parade, every vehicle or float is covered in lights. And so it is dark and it's cold, but it's really fun to see, you know, the marching bands covered in lights. You're going to want hats and coats and the gloves and blankets and a hot chocolate or a hot coffee in your hand, because it doesn't start until about maybe 6 or 7 p.m. and it's cold. So I hope you enjoyed that. Number 3 is the Polar Express. This one is probably my favorite. My son actually worked as a chef on the Polar Express 2 years in a row, and it was such a blast to go and see him performing. So again, this is a very interactive experience. You do not have to have kids to go ride the Polar Express. You can be any age, and I promise it is so much fun. It goes out of Williams on a train called the Grand Canyon Express. First of all, when you get into Williams, you might want to go early so you can get a bite to eat. Williams is a small, quaint town. It has this historic downtown area where you can go into some different diners. They have little shops where it's like filled with Coca-Cola products, old lunch boxes, just some classic memorabilia that I think is really fun. So you could eat first, and then the trains leave at like 5:30 and 7:30 every night. On the weekends, they have middle of the day trains as well, and it runs all the way through like January 7th, I believe. So when you're on the train, you're singing, you're having fun, you take the train to the North Pole, Santa gets on, and then he comes out and talks to everybody, and it's really a great time. Okay, so my 4th recommendation would be to go snowshoeing or cross-country skiing at the Nordic Center. So the Nordic Center is past our ski resort called Snowbowl. It's kind of heading towards the Grand Canyon. And when you get there, you can rent your gear. They have little maps with different loops according to your level and how long you want to be out there. You can take some snacks with you and just have fun. I did it once and it was a blast. I wasn't expecting much. I kind of thought, well, this is silly because I'm used to downhill skiing in the snow, but it was so much fun. It was beautiful. So definitely check that out if you want to do something different. My 5th recommendation would be to go skiing or snowboarding at our resort, which is called Snowbowl. Now, you need to go early because it fills up fast, And once our parking lot is full, it's just shut down. You can't drive up there. And we do have a bus that goes from, it's just our mountain line, like our public transportation. We have buses that go from the downtown center or Flagstaff High School, and every hour it can take you up to Snowbowl, and it will also bring you back down. But that doesn't start until about December 15th. So you definitely need to check the schedule online because there are some different circumstances with that. My children will do that quite often, and we're always looking it up again to make sure, is there actually going to be a bus heading up there today? But it's definitely a great way to avoid the crowds and the steep road and having to park, etc. So when you get to Snowbowl, you can take lessons there, you can rent your gear there. There is a pretty big line if you need to rent your gear. My kids were on the ski team one year, and when we got to the mountain, they were like 8 and 9. My 8-year-old had forgotten one ski boot. And so she had all of her gear, but only one ski boot. And so we had to wait in line forever, and we had to rent her everything. They're like, we can't just give you one boot, ma'am. You're gonna have to buy all of it. And I was like, oh, perfect. So we have lots of ski rental places in town. So it's definitely something you can do the night before. Also, we have some outdoor rentals that also sell old gear. It's called SMR, Snow Mountain River, and that's a great place if you are interested in investing in your own gear. You could do that for snowshoeing as well, and then you'll have it every year if you like. The problem with kids is they grow, and so every couple of years you're trading things back in. Luckily, our rentals in town, they also have a program where you can just rent it for the season. You turn it back in, and then you rent again the next season. And it's pretty reasonably priced if you're going to use the mountain quite a bit, as well as our season passes. If you buy those early, they are quite a deal. If you're going to use it at least 3 times, you're going to get your money's worth. And they even have a program where you can pay monthly. If you pay before a certain date, it's cheaper. Everything is cheaper if you do it ahead of time. So usually by the end of the ski season, so like in April, we start thinking about the next year's pass. And the Snowbowl passes, they're in a program where they have 7 or 8 other ski hills that you can use as well. They're in Utah, Colorado, maybe New Mexico. It seems to change every year, so definitely each season you need to look again, because I'll come up to Utah and all of a sudden Powder Mountain is no longer on the pass, so just double check that. But it's always a lot of fun. I grew up skiing, and I'm happy that my kids have all learned to ski as well. My husband is a little bit dangerous on the hill, so we stopped inviting him to come because a ski patrol had to approach him several times and it was a little bit embarrassing, but it makes for a good story. So my 6th recommendation is called Flagstaff Adventure Course. This is at Fort Hill, which are our county fairgrounds, and it's a obstacle course that's up in the trees, so you're going to wear a harness, and there's zip lines and bridges and rope swings, all sorts of fun stuff. It goes through 4 different sections, and if you get through the black section, you're considered an expert, and it's bragging rights only, basically. But this is open year-round, and so feel free to go anytime. Just make sure that you call ahead to make a reservation. In the summer times, it's a lot more crowded. In the winter times, not as much. Of course, it will be cold outside. It's an entirely outdoor event, but you get warmed up pretty quick because you're working hard. So check that out. It's a lot of fun. It's reasonably priced, and we do that a lot of times when we have family coming into town. And my 7th and final recommendation is to go tubing at our snow park. So when you come into town, everyone wants to go sledding, and a lot of times they'll purchase, you know, like an $8 or $10 cheap little sled from a gas station or Walmart or Target, and those sleds break typically on the first or second time down the hill, and then we get plastic left in our forest, which is always a little bit of a bummer. So we now have this Flagstaff Snow Park, and it's also at Fort Hill. They have these ginormous tubes, and they have this like magic carpet that takes you up the mountain, and then you can tube down. You can go in like groups and hang on to each other. It's a lot of fun, and they do a great job. So also you need reservations for that. If they fill up, they fill up. They only have, we're a small town, so we only have a capacity for so many people, but definitely check that out. They do have a food truck there often, which has hot chocolate and cinnamon rolls, etc. I'm not sure about real food, but they definitely have something to help warm you up. Also, they have fire pits that you can sit by and watch your kids go up and down as many times as they want. Anyhow, so those are my 7 recommendations of what you can do in Flagstaff around the holidays. And of course, our downtown area is very charming. You can always just walk the streets with a coffee or hot chocolate in your hand, going in and out of some of the stores. We have candy stores. It's a very charming place to be, especially in the wintertime. Just please be safe. Tammy's pro tip of the day is please check the weather before you come. If it's going to be a snowstorm, oftentimes our roads will get shut down. Our freeways in and out could get shut down due to it just being too slippery. We have a ton of vehicles that are trying to put out cinder on the road, they're trying to snowplow, but sometimes the storm just gets ahead of us and we can't keep on top of it. So it's better to cancel and come another time than it is to come and not be safe and end up sliding off the road. So that's my pro tip of the day. Also, I would like to tell you that when you're traveling to Flagstaff, the roads are totally fine until about 10 miles. Any direction surrounding Flagstaff, that's where you're gonna start seeing a lot of the snow. So if you do end up in a snowstorm, just be aware that it's only gonna be about 10 miles before you'll safely either be out of the storm or safely at your location. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you try it out, and please let me know if you have any questions. If you're in town and wanna go see some houses, I'm here for you. You can text or email me, schedule a Zoom meeting. I would love to talk to you. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.